things that why we were so successful at explaining this to the Department of Justice, and which is in the report and will be explained to Congress, is the fact that the consumer has no vehicle for a dispute when the FBI is doing it. The FBI is not a consumer reporting agency. So who in here does regulated screening? I mean, I do a ton of it. And I know, you'll clear somebody out and, 10 days later, you get fingerprint results back and there's something that happened in 1982 that probably wasn't even them or was acquitted or whatever else. Well, the consumer at that point has no vehicle to dispute that information. So that was a big plan. One of the ways we were able to move to what the DOJ was planning on doing, and kind of put them over in our direction. Can anybody else think of any pros or cons of this? Is there any questions about this? Because this is going to be a pretty hot topic for the next several years. We can wait till the end, or we can talk about it now. No? Okay. Am I telling anybody news they've never heard of before in their lives? Is this news to anybody? Kirsten?
Interesting, along the lines of this, the security industry was granted, security guarding industry was granted access to FBI fingerprint records. And I talked to somebody in the security industry a while ago, and they said, we thought that was going to be a really big, huge threat, and we do a lot of work with security guards. And it has been an absolute non-threat at all, because there's no vehicle. Even though you can get the fingerprints done, you can get your criminal record checked done with fingerprints if you're an authorized security company, you got no way to get them to the FBI. And so in this case, they granted the approval, but built no means, no usable means to be able to get the information there. So it may not be the threat that everybody's...
Right, and originally when we got it, I was panicked myself until we were able to start working on it with them. And this was a project they worked on for several years, and it's probably better if I gave the history of the reason the whole thing happened. And it did happen because after 9/11, the FBI and the government said, let's look at the feasibility of, after we look at granting this to the security industry, of giving it to everybody else. And that's kind of where it started from, and kind of snowballed from there. Any other questions on this? I saw someone else raise their hand. So is this news to anybody? No? That's good. Okay. National databases. Who in here fears national databases? Okay, well, this is a completely different audience than I would have had 5 years ago, because everybody was panicked about national databases. They were the devil. Well, I got news for you guys. National databases, with the FBI records, which was once a threat, is now an incredible opportunity for everybody and a very good service you can offer your clients. National databases, we all know that, criminal records, like throwing a net over everything and seeing what you can scoop in. It's another vehicle to allow your clients to see what else an applicant might have. And it's an excellent tool. The negligent hiring lawsuit says, if you could have known, you should have known. Well, nowadays, you could have done this, and you should have known, and you should have done it. And it's inexpensive enough to be able to do that. In addition, the databases are actually getting better and better every single day. I get updates from NBD, I get updates from backgroundchecks.com. These are the sources we've added. They're being updated more regularly, and they are becoming a better product. I-9 services. Now that the Democrats have taken office, it's believed that they will sign on to the president's immigration bill, which he proposed last year. We did a lot of lobbying in Washington on this immigration bill. We actually had a lot of input on it. And it's likely that within 5 years, if the bills go through properly, the way we think they're going to go through, within 5 years, every employer in the United States will be required to use the electronic method for I-9 certification of right to work in the United States. So once again, opportunity. There's services out there, I-9 compliant, Form I-9 compliance in California. There's other ones opening up. I think Talks is looking at opening one themselves. You can do it yourself if you have the technology. You can sign up with the Department of INS and Homeland Security on the pilot program. Search program, SAFE program it's called. SAFE program. And it's an incredible opportunity to sell your clients a product that will absolutely change the way they do business. When we first heard about the product and approached some of our larger clients about it, they absolutely flipped out. When you have a company that has 500 locations all in the United States, and you're used to keeping their I-9s in one central location, but they're waiting for them, and 85% of them are filled out incorrectly, and you have to get a $300 to $3,000 fine if they are filled out incorrectly. This is an incredible service to offer your clients. The nice thing about the immigration bill is, when we first started approaching our clients about it, they said, that's a great service, but I don't want to pay for it. I'm not paying for this now, and this is going to come straight off my bottom line. Doing a couple thousand of them a year, 10, 20, whatever the price was back then, it's an incredible amount of money for them to spend. Well, now with the immigration bill, they're not going to have a choice. So it's an incredible opportunity for you to offer your clients. National Homeland Security. The reason I added this is because I think it's becoming more and more every day apparent that it's everybody's responsibility to maintain Homeland Security in the United States. And doing what we do, I do a lot of media and a lot of print and news and everything else. And the one question is, well, why are they putting background checks into the mix of all the new security programs? That would not have prevented 9/11, and of course it wouldn't have prevented 9/11. But you can't build a security program on anything unless you look at your most basic thing and your biggest liability, which is your people. So it's definitely an important thing to look at. If you look at some of the services that I listed out, these are some of the things that can be used, very basic services that we all offer that can be used to add on to the theory of Homeland Security. OFAC searches, Office of Foreign Asset Control. A lot of companies have put these in databases which now grab other information like terrorist watch lists from other countries and Interpol and everything else. And these are great services to offer, and they're required in several industries in the United States. Identity verification. Identity verification products are popping up every single day. ChoicePoint's got one, they're working on better ones. Accurate, Securant, LexisNexis, the credit bureau products. There's more and more of these products coming out every day. They're becoming more and more important to first identify, is this the applicant that I'm supposed to be screening? We worked heavily with ASIS. I was on a committee with a lot of people in this room, actually. We developed guidelines for background screening that ASIS can give to their membership. Took a couple of years to produce, but the first thing we looked at was ways that the employer can identify if this is the right person that they're supposed to be screening. We looked at using tokens and IDs and passports and all these types of things. And if companies can take that responsibility on themselves first before they screen the people through the CRAs, they add a lot of value to themselves and to the background screen. Criminal searches, obviously, credit reports, motor vehicle records, verification of residence, which would, I guess, go into identity verification. Can you think of any other services that we offer that are good for Homeland Security? Some things that are coming out now? Well, you guys aren't really interactive today. It's not. Everybody awake? Okay. Internet searches. This is becoming a hot topic. I have done, again, quite a bit of media, and it's been a question I've been asked a lot recently, and that's about using MySpace and blogs and internet pages and all these types of things that are out there to vet employees. And let me tell you, you want to run if that's offered, if your clients want that. It's not, first of all, ethically, I think it's a terrible way to make a hiring decision. I mean, every drunk high school guy and girl puts all kinds of pictures on there. It's their opportunity to express themselves. And whether a hiring decision should be made on that is, I personally ethically would never do it. Now, what a lot of employers look at is the fact that they can bypass the FCRA and everything else by doing it themselves. There's no adverse action when they do it themselves. So what a lot of employers are doing, and you probably read the articles out there, they're going out there and they're putting the person's name in Google or MySpace or Facebook, whatever else, and they're disqualifying people for employment. I don't know of any case law right now, but I did hear of something pending that's going to be happening where somebody was denied employment for this, and you're going to probably see more and more of it happening. So those are the three main things: the blogs, the Facebook, and the MySpace. But other things that are happening are like article scans, and I'm not as ethically opposed to those because those can produce a lot of information, especially for high-level screens like CEOs. In fact, the thing that happened a couple of years ago with the CEO of Smith & Wesson, that they found out, in the 60s he had a gun violation. I think that they proved that would have been able to find out in a LexisNexis search, just doing a cursory newspaper search. So what I'm trying to get across here is I believe it's a bad hiring practice and a bad business to get into. But it's going to be something that's going to be asked of you more and more every day. So it's going to pop up. Any questions on that?